Cash for seat saga. Trade Minister broke the law. The minority side of the 5-member bipartisan Cash for Seat Committee has concluded that the Trade Minister and the industry engage in multiple infractions, including breaches of the Public Financial Management Law and the multiple ethical violations. The minority members of the committee, Dr. Dominic and James Clucci, contend that the Ministry of Trade and the industry failed or neglected to take account of possible violations of foreign corrupt practice laws and regulations in the concept, design and organization of the Expatriate Business Awards. The committee was tasked by Parliament to investigate the alleged extortion of expatriates to allow them to sit close to the President Nana Akufo-Addo during the Expatriate Business Award ceremony held in December 2017, organized by the Millennium X.
NDC. It's putting itself together to stage a strong comeback to the power in 2020. The latest opposition party is set to go Congress later this year to elect its presidential candidate for the 2020 elections, but already home interested persons have already hit the ground running campaign to be elected to that enviable position. Mr. Mahama has been severely criticized by some of his own party members, accusing him of being a bad leader whose action and indications were one of the major contribution factor to the NDC emulating the defeat to its latest general election.
Amend law school admission, LI before relaying it. Kofi Bento discloses. The Vice President of Policy Think Tank, Imani Africa, Kofi Bento, has called on the General Legal Council to rework the controversial legal profession regulation and resubmit same to Parliament. His comment comes on the back of the call by the Attorney General Gloria Ekufu for the legal profession regulations to be withdrawn from Parliament and relayed due to procedural error. This, according to the Attorney General, is because some processes governing such regulations were not adhered to, adding that the regulation was not gazetted on time.
The Auditor General Daniel Domlevo has intensified calls for the grant of authority to Office of the Auditor General prosecute and charge individuals who infringe on procurement laws. His comment came to the wake of some 5.4 billion Ghana cedis wrongfully paid to contractors and other service providers by officials at various ministries between 2014 to 2017. Speaking at the press conference in Accra on Monday, February 5th, Mr. Domlevo said his office has already applied to the Attorney General's office to be given a flat to prosecute individuals from culpable. According to him, he said, "Do you have prosecutorial powers?" "No, I don't have. As at now, completely zero." "Can't I have?" "Yes. That is if a flat is given by Attorney General to the audit service, just like he has given to the police and others to prosecute. If he gets a flat, he will see his action," he explained.
MPP MPs behind charge petition against Oforiatta, Sydney Hayford discloses. A member of Pressure Takamu Barak, North Tongu MP, Okujeto Ablakwa, Ketu South, Fifi Kwete were all pulling the strings.
Away from the political stories and in our social stories, 32-year-old Kwame Asirifi has ended his life after drinking 2 bottles of local distilled gin at Peteshi and Awukoso, a suburb of Achem Emeng in his eastern region. The assemblyman of the area, Johnson Apia, who disclosed this to HiRadioOnline.com, said the deceased had been promised 30 Ghana cedis by a colleague if he was able to drink 2 bottles of gin, a challenge he put himself up for. However, no sooner did he finish the second bottle than he collapsed and was gasping for breath. Onlookers thought he was fearing his collapse until they realized the situation was becoming more serious than they thought. Promoting the attention of the assemblyman, who directed his wife to give him some food, his situation appeared to be worsening, so was rushed to the Howard Memorial Hospital, where he died shortly on admission. The matter, he said, has been reported to the police, and investigations have commenced into the matter to establish the actual cause of death. You still have on HiRadioOnline.com. We go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back from the break. It's still live on HiRadioOnline.com, and it's still the news update at 2 with me, Kuma Kofi Kingsley, and
Tiflos.
And we do some business stories. The Ghana National Association of Small Scale Miners, GNASSM, has disclosed that the industry has lost some $551 million and will continue due to the ban placed on their operations by government. It has therefore called on government to immediately lift the ban in order to save the industry from collapsing. Once According to him, he said, once you are running a business and your operations are halted, you may have some loans you have taken from banks, investors, and lenders that you have to still pay back. You will agree with me that restarting the operation would be challengeable. But with the operations in general, we have lost 551 million US dollars, which includes still maintenance and underground devastation as the band is still on. General Secretary of GNASSMN, Gordon Amma, told the media.
Also on business news, GCB Bank collapses 31 branches of UT and Capital Banks. The Ghana Commercial Bank has collapsed at least 31 branches of the defunct UT Bank and Capital Bank. This follows the completion of the full integration of the systems of the two banks. It is unclear how many branches, each belonging to UT or Capital Bank, have been collapsed, but as we now know, 31 of 183 branches across the world have been collapsed. And also GCB Bank explained that the decision to maintain 22 branches were based on their location and accessibility to customers. Bank of Ghana in August 2017 allowed GCB Bank to assume management of UT and Capital Banks in a purchase of assumption agreement.
Still in the business news, for the 7th consecutive year, Rangold Resources have increased its gold production in 2017, boosting output by 5% to 1.315 million ounces, ahead of its guidance, while striking total cash cost per ounce by 3% to $620. Results from year published today, Monday, 5th February 2017, show profit up 14% at $335 million and net cash increasing by 39% to $720 million with no debt. The board has proposed a dividend $200 per share, double that of 2016 for shareholders' approval. Chief Executive Mark Bristol said the strong performance was led by Rango's flagship, the Lolo Galkoto complex in Mali, and supported by an across-the-border delivery from the other operations, Morella in Mali, Tongon in Cote d'Ivoire, and Kibali in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay, now let's move into the world of sports. Tottenham striker says he felt contact to win a penalty at Liverpool. Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane says Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk was wrong to claim he dived to win a penalty during Sunday's 2-2 draw at Anfield. Kane was brought down 6 minutes from time at Anfield by goalkeeper Loris Karius, who saved the spot kick. The defender Virgil van Dijk, who later conceded an injury time penalty, and Harry Kane converted. And when he converted a penalty after the match, he disclosed that he didn't see it as a dive, but there was a little contact between him and Virgil van Dijk, which made him go down.
And in our prime year in Ghana, Andre Ayew is savoring the prospect of sharing a dressing room with his younger brother Jordan at Swansea City. Ayew is back for a second spell at the Liberty Stadium after completing a deadline day move from West Ham United, and that means he will once again get the chance to play alongside the younger brother Jordan. Jordan has had a run of games and is confident to leave his level is really high. That's important in football. He has to keep things going, and now he's going to do well. He said, according to him, he said he's hopeful they can do a great job for the team. Jordan is currently the Swans' top marksman, having scored 8 goals so far this season.
Also, we are taking an update from the Super Bowl 52. Philadelphia Eagles beat New England Patriots to win the title. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl for the first time by beating the New England Patriots 41-43 in an extraordinary encounter at Minneapolis. On a night when records stumbled and the expected norms of an NFL games went out the window, the Eagles, led by majestically Nick Foles, produced a brilliant offensive display to deny the Patriots a record equaling sixth Super Bowl crown.
And we look at performance of Ghanaian players abroad. It was a very lively weekend for Ghanaian players as Emmanuel Boateng opened his La Liga goal scoring account against no other team than Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu, but not so good in Spain for Michael Anaba as he collected his first red card in Spanish football. Meanwhile, Frosin had an unlikely assist provider and scorer in Raham Chibasa in Italy, likewise Ifriakwa, but the combative enforcer ended up in a wrong took of official Ruben Obda has a lowdown of how Ghanaian players fared across the globals of the weekend. In England also, Collins Cotter enjoyed full period of action by Huddersfield Town as they were beaten 2-0 by Manchester United. Timothy Fosu-Mensah played the entire duration for Crystal Palace in a 1-1 draw with Newcastle United. Jeffrey Schlupp missed the game through injury, while Christian Atsu was introduced in the 57th minute for the Magpies. Jordan Ayew lasted 92 minutes for Swansea in the 1-1 draw with Leicester City. Daniel Amate did not make Leicester City match day squad, while Swansea was signing Andre Ayew missed the game through injury. In the Championship, Albert Adoma provided an assist and scored as Aston Villa saw off Burton Albion 3-2 at the Villa Park. And also Andy Yadom listed full period of action for Barnsley in the 1-0 defeat at Queen's Park Rangers, and Caleb Ekuban made Leeds United 4-1 defeat against Cardiff at home through injury. He is expected to return to action in fortnight's time. And also Dennis Odoi was introduced in the 92nd minute for Fulham FC in the 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest.
Also, let's take a dive in Formula One. Formula One 2018 car launch and testing scheduled. Formula One teams have tested their build-up to the 2018 season before their first race in Australia on 25th March. They are working